Hey everybody, welcome to our newest new customer webinar. My name is Grady. I am an expert coach here at Keap, and our role today in our session is to be able to help you to navigate the contact record in Keap. Now, this is specific to Keap, Keap Grow or Keap Pro, but if you're here from Infusionsoft, this might be a little bit tougher to feel comfortable with because we're mostly in Keap, but we did have a session earlier today all about Infusionsoft, and so you can actually go back to the webinars and view the replay of that session, or join it when we have it again next week. Excuse me. I got a little bit of a cold that I'm fighting here, so I might mute a couple times and do this, and that means I'm coughing. But what I like to do to make sure that we feel really comfortable is do a little bit of a tech check. So inside of Zoom, we got some really cool tools. And one of those cool tools is the hand raise. So if you can just help me out, if you can hear me, see the screen shared as the green contact record in Keap, if you can just click on that hand raise button, just so I know that it's working. All right, perfect. I see you guys doing that. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for doing that. I'll go ahead and lower those. Now, that also has an alternate benefit. That hand raise icon lets me know that you've got a question. As we go through this session, we've got really three milestones we'll go through in our session. The first one is instruction. We'll talk about the contact record in Keap and how you can benefit from it. And when we're doing that, if you've got questions that you want to ask, and you want to have some time to speak them verbally, raise your hand. I'll go ahead and I'll unmute you and give you access to share your questions. Now, if you've got a question that maybe you don't have a good microphone or you're a little bit shy, that's okay. We also have the Q&A feature in Zoom. The Q&A feature is meant for you to ask a question as well. And when I see those questions there, I can either see it and answer it live in the session, or I might hold off on it a little bit to our Q&A section. So that is our next milestone, is that we'll have a Q&A section after the instruction all about the contact record for you to have a space to ask some questions, maybe even some specific scenarios that you need help with. And you can raise your hand or you can use the Q&A function. And then our last pillar is going to be just general Q&A. I know that some of you that are joining us might have other questions you're concerned about. Or it might be that as we go through the content today, it gets, the creative juices flowing and you start getting ideas. And you're like, oh, I wonder if I can do this other thing. So that last section of Q&A is perfect for that. So between the hand raise and the chat Q&A, we should have it pretty accessible for you to share and to ask the questions that you have. Thank you guys so much. I'm just seeing a couple people kind of dripping in here, so thank you guys for joining us today. We're really excited to share with you some of the things that just comes as an essential to Keap. And so our big thing today is talking about how to get better organized. The idea that you've got all these relationships you're trying to manage and you want to make sure that everything feels natural and personal. If you've got a handful, like 5 contacts or 5 relationships that you're trying to maintain, it's pretty easy to remember the last communication that you had, maybe the next thing you need them to do. But when you get 20, 200, 2,000, 20,000, some of our customers have, that gets really stressful trying to remember what everyone's favorite product is, when they're due for their next service. And so having an organized CRM like Keap and the contact record helps you to be able to do that. And so we're going to talk about 3 things that we can do to help you utilize that contact record. To help you get organized as we talk about the way that Keap holds your information and the way that you can utilize it to keep track of what's next and customize that view to be able to have the information that's important to you on that record. And lastly, how you can use that record to communicate. It's really important that you're organized and things look good, but now you got to do something with it. And we'll talk about how the contact record makes it really easy for you to keep in touch with your contacts, especially when it tells you it's time to follow up. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Let me go ahead and switch my window. All right, so this is my instance of Keap. that I am working out of today. I've got a lot of things going on, and so there's some areas that I focus in on and help me keep better organized. And today we'll talk about the contact record. So if I click on the contacts, you can see on the left panel, I've got all my contacts here. Everyone that I've got on my list is here. And sometimes it's hard to look at a contact and know exactly what's going on. So I'm going to pick myself here for our contact to work with today. So one of the first things I want to call out here is that when I click on my name on the contact record, I can see all of these buckets. All these buckets here are groups of data to help me to look at this contact record and very quickly know what's going on with this person. For example, I can see all the emails that I've sent to Grady in this case. As I look at these, I can click on these three dots and I can actually view the email itself. So I can look at the communication that I've been sending their way. I can also see calls we've been having. If I'm using the Keap business line, I can keep track of the incoming and outgoing calls. I can see invoicing. I can see my tags. I can see tasks that are coming up. And I can even see messages. So as I'm using my Keap business line, the text back and forth, all that communication is easy to find in the contact record. Now, if you haven't set up your Keap business line yet, tomorrow we're going to have a session. Thursday, we're going to have a session all about the Keap business line. I highly recommend that you join us for it. It's an amazing tool to keep the conversations that are not just emails also organized in Keap. So we've got our buckets here of different types of communication so I can see my history. Now there's two other areas I want to focus in on right now. And those are, change one thing real fast. The the note. So one of the great things I can do on my record here is I try to keep things better organized. Is I can add quick notes to my contacts to say I sent a text but haven't heard back. I think they are ignoring me. So this is something that adds additional context. I already have a history of my text messages, but this is now how I feel about something in this moment in time. So if I ever come back to this record later, I'm going to go ahead and refresh my screen so I can see. Is it this one? Oh, that is it. Control R, refresh. I always forget what the keystroke is on it. All right, perfect. And so I can see now there's my note that I just left. Great. We have a great question, Lance. He says, my screen doesn't look like that. Why? So Lance, do you have Infusionsoft as your product that you use, or do you have Keap, Grow, or Pro? And so as you give me a second to give me that feedback, what I'll do as well, I'm going to come over here to more and talk about the other thing that we use. Now, the nice thing is for someone like Lance, you still have access to notes in your record. And the other piece here is the task. So we can see here when we want to follow up with someone in a specific way, we have a way to do that. So we can say here the task is and I'll put my little notes here. All right, and there we go. I have a task for myself. I can follow up on Friday and save that. So I can always know what's going on with this record and know what's going on. I can see, here we go, I got some tasks, this record. So if I look up Grady's contact record, I can click on it and easily see what kind of tasks I have outstanding for him. So I can quickly take action, follow up on those tasks. All right, perfect. So the next thing I want to talk about here on the contact record is I click on this little I. So this I is basically information. If I click on this, I can now see all of my contacts information. I can see phone number, email, additional information that I might not have yet. And the great thing here is that as I look at this record, it only shows me the information I have captured. If there's new information that I want to add, I can click on Edit, and now I see all the fields. And so I can say, okay, job title, webinar host. Oops. Nice and easy little squiggle. It lets me know that I misspelled something. And I save that. Now the contact record presents itself in a different way. It shows me the content that I was missing before. And this helps to make sure that the contact record only contains or is presenting essential information and isn't overwhelming you with empty fields that you might not be collecting. Now, when it comes to the contact record, we've got, like I was saying, a lot of standard fields. Fields that we're pretty sure everyone should have need of collecting information in. Things like the website, their address. But we also know that as a business owner, you probably have data points that are unique just to you. Things that apply to your business that don't apply anywhere else that you want to make sure you have a way to capture. And so what we can do when it comes to additional info and custom fields, I can click on Add Custom Field, and I can choose one of my other fields that I don't have on here yet, or I can create a new one. Now, the great thing about these custom fields is that you can choose how the data presents itself. Now you can see simple is just a text field. It's just a simple line of text, pretty simple and straightforward. But we've got some other options here. We also have things like checkboxes, currency, date, number formats. We can do a drop down with some options in it. We can do their email address, things like the month, percentage, all these crazy things that we know that you've got a certain way you need your data to present itself. We want to make sure it's as easy as possible to show that information. In this case here, I'm going to choose, what do I want to do? I'll do a date field. So the thing that I need to capture that I don't see yet on my contact record is I need to understand the date that they became a customer. So there we go. I've got the new customer date. And I click on Save This Field. And now I've got a new field on the contact record. And you'll notice because I chose this as a date field, the way that this field presents itself is different. The sales rep name is just a text field. It's just a standard line. But the date field actually gives me this little calendar that I can click on and choose the date. I'll choose the 6th of November. And now I just click on Save up here in the top right corner. And there we are. There's my new customer date. And so you can have up to 100 custom fields available in your Keap account. So you've got plenty of space to get creative of it, how you want to capture information. So custom fields are a great way to capture that information. And the nice thing about custom fields is that you can actually merge that information into your communication with your customers. So you can throw that in email. So like things like a sales rep name. So I can throw that in there and say, hey, my name is Grady. I'm the owner at GMP Custom Flooring. I just heard from, insert their sales rep name. So in this case, I just heard from Desiree that you just became a new customer of ours on Wednesday, November 6th, 2019. That might not be the most customer-friendly way to phrase that, but the idea being is that we have the option to throw those things in. And now it makes it feel like this email is personal, and I can make that repeatable because that's going to be the same for everybody just based on what information I add to their contact record. So there's one other way that we can add a little bit of customization on our contact record, and that's with the tag. The tag is a great way for us to be better organized in how we bucket our customers or our contacts. So one of the things you see as I scroll down here is tags. If I click on the tags here in my history, I can see that this user here, this contact, has the nurture subscriber tag. It lets me know that there's somebody who is getting dripped out information. You know, I'm not actively working with them right now, but if things change, I can go ahead and apply a new tag, and I can say, hey, this person is now a new customer. And I can go ahead and apply that tag, and I can go ahead and get rid of that nurture tag. I'm no longer nurturing them. They're a new customer. And it makes it really easy for me to keep track of my buckets of customers. And so if I go back now, as I've made a tag change, I can see down below if I click on refresh. There it is. So this tag I created, now I know, new customer. The great thing is if I say, you know what, I'm going to send an email to all my new customers. I can just go over here to this little funnel, click on it, and start filtering out the type of customers I want to present themselves. In this case here, I'm going to choose a tag. And I want the tags that contain the new customer tag. It gives me a little preview that says, hey, there's one person that matches that criteria. Great, that's what I'm looking for. Now, over on that left panel, let me go ahead and update this guy real fast. I'm going to do agriculture today. And I'm in Illinois. Perfect. All right, let me go back to that filter again. Let me get my new customer. There it is. It saved it for me for my last use of it. And there we are. There's my filtered list. And so I can go ahead and choose that group there, or that individual, or I can choose all of them. And I can do some grouped follow-up. I can do more tags or removing tags. I can send a broadcast. I can even add them to a campaign. So I can be better organized and act quickly. So let's talk about these actions that we can take on these contacts. Now that we're getting a little bit more organized, we have some ways that we can take action. So one of the things that I love about this contact record here, when I have my Keap business line set up, I can actually call this customer or text them. If I click on call, it'll try to use my on-screen calling service. So if you've got like Skype or Jabber, it'll try to use that. Or if you're on your mobile phone and using the Keap mobile experience, it'll try to use your mobile phone or your Keap business line. But texting is really cool. So with Keap business line and Keap mobile, I can have text conversations back and forth. I can also have those same conversations in the desktop view here. So there we are. I can see this is the conversation I've been having, trying to get an appointment scheduled. I can see here that I've sent my scheduling link and I haven't gotten a response back yet. I haven't seen an appointment show up on my calendar, so I can easily follow up. I can just say, and send that on over. So that goes on out, and so when I close, and there it is. You can see on my Apple Watch, I can see my message coming in myself. But now you can see here, my contact record updated itself with my most recent message. So I can keep track of all those communications that are going on. Now maybe SMS just isn't the thing that's working for this customer or this contact. I've sent a couple of texts, haven't heard back. I might need to go ahead and try an email. Now the great thing is here is we got our quick little email builder. We also though have our email template builder. I can click on this and I can have a handful of templates that are pre-created that I can use to send a quick email. I can also create new email templates just by clicking on Manage Templates. So let's see here. I think this is the one, an introduction with an invitation to meet. And there it is. I'm saying, hi, I'd like to connect. And then I'm going to go ahead and click enter and add in my booking link. And then I'll go ahead and throw on my signature on the bottom for good measure. So a quick written email, templated, easy way to add my booking link, thank you, and my signature. And the idea here is this email will look like it's being sent from my Gmail or from my Outlook. But really, it was pre-written. I was able to create it all with a few clicks. I can send this on its way. And boom, I am now following up. So if I look at my tasks, I've got this here. I need to make sure they are responding. This is the idea that I just created, was like texts aren't working. So I went ahead and I sent an email instead. So I'll go ahead and mark this as complete. Now it's off my plate. And I got this other one here to schedule consultation. I'm going to go ahead and just update it and say also sent an email. Try a phone call next. So here we are. So I'm making changes and making updates. And on Friday, I'll make sure that this task is going to be popping up for me. And I'll know, hey, if he hasn't booked yet, I'll try making a phone call. It's this idea of always following up. Sometimes your customers are great at keeping in communication with you and you're going back and forth and things are magic. Sometimes the customer needs a couple more chases in order for them to take action. And the Keap contact record is helping me to make sure that no one falls through the cracks. I don't forget about anybody just because they're not reaching out to me. I'm always on top of it. And there's my newest email that I just sent out. So you can see everything that's happening is always updated in this history here. All right, so let me show. I think that was the major points that I wanted to hit with you guys today. Oh, one last one that I love, and this is that I can easily add this contact to a campaign. So if I've got campaigns that are live and running, this application doesn't have any at the moment. Actually, we do. Let's say I didn't want to send a one-off email because I've been doing those over and over again. I can just use this campaign I created to offer consultation booking links. Now, if you're not, if you haven't created a campaign yet, that's okay. Our session on Friday is all about using the campaign builder. If you join us for that session, we'll talk about how to use campaign builder to start scaling your follow-up. You know, when you're, have a handful of contacts and, it's really manageable throughout the day to do these activities on your own, the templates still make it pretty straightforward and easy. But as you start to scale, and you go from following up with 20 clients to following up with 200 to 2,000, it gets a little bit hard for you to start just sending one-off emails. The campaign is the thing that helps us to scale. And so I always say start out with the one-to-one communication. Get really, really comfortable with that. I think about the movie Hitch with Kevin James and Will Smith, where Will Smith is telling Kevin James's character, he's like, when you're dancing, this is home. Just the two-step. This is it. Don't do anything else but this. But over time, you become more comfortable and you start, adding a couple of flourishes onto that dance move and, everyone loves it. Or you get made fun of in tabloids. But in this case, you'll be just fine. And so as you get comfortable with keeping this one-to-one communication, the campaign builder helps you to enhance your communication. So what I'd love for us to now do is really open up some space for questions. What questions do you guys have about the contact record in Keap? I know, Lance, you had asked about your screen looking a little bit different. I'd love to I didn't hear back from you of what's different about it, just so I know what edition you're in and make sure I'm giving you the right feedback on that guy. And then also anyone else who's here, I'd love to give you guys a chance to ask questions about the contact record to make sure that you feel really comfortable and really excited about what this can provide. It doesn't say Keap in the corner. All right. So yeah, I would assume, does it say Infusionsoft in the corner? Or maybe Infusionsoft by Keap? All right. Here's what I'm going to do a quick look while we're waiting for other questions to come in and see what I can learn about that. Thank you for your app ID. I'm going to go ahead and look at it in my screen here. All right, perfect. I see it. Yeah, Lance, you have actually Infusionsoft by Keap. It's our other version of our product. It's actually the one that's kind of our more advanced product. And so, although the tools we've been using today, you have access to a lot of them inside of Infusionsoft, they'll look a little bit differently. What I'll do, Lance, for you after the session is I'm going to send you a link to the replay of the session we had earlier today. That one's all about the Infusionsoft contact record. And so that will help you to get the same content, but towards your app. So thank you so much for hanging out and letting me help you with that, but that will help. All right, anything else about the contact record in Keap, guys? And if not, I'll transition over and we'll talk about just general Q&A, just anything else that's on your mind. One thing I always like to share is that before I worked here at Keap, in fact, actually a year in tandem, I actually had my own small business. I had a window cleaning business that I ran in California for about 8 years, and I learned a ton about being a small business owner. Some of the great things about it, some of the dark side, and some of the mistakes that I made, and then some of the cool things that I learned when I was kind of that tandem life of owning a small business and working here at Keap. I was able to use a lot of the tools at Keap and the things that I learned at Keap to enhance the business. I was able to kind of keep it going, and I was able to sell it off, which was a really big blessing for me. And so even if it's just general business questions, I'm super happy to answer those as well. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any questions come in. I don't see any hands raised, but I do want to thank you guys for joining us. The fact that you took, a half hour out of your day today to work on your business really says a lot to your commitment to making your business grow. We find a lot of our customers sometimes get stuck in that world where they're working in their business and they can't get their head above water to make things better. And being here today, learning how to use the contact record better will help you to enhance how you communicate with your customers and be more efficient and actually buy yourself back some time. We got webinars, sessions like this twice a day. And so if you found value out of today's session, join us for another one. We've got all kinds of other topics like Keap Business Line, how to create appointments, how to enhance with automation, all things that we're trying to do to help you just get more out of your experience with Keap. You'll also get an email after today's session with a link to a survey. We would love to have your feedback just to let us know what your experience was like today. Did it work for you? Or the things you'd like to see differently? We'd love to just get a handle on that so we can keep doing the things that work and maybe consider removing things that don't. And then the last thing I just want to share as well is that we'll have a recording of this probably in the next day or so sent out to you. So if there's anything that you feel like you missed or didn't quite catch, you can come back to it. I always recommend that grab that replay, grab your app, and just go step by step and just mirror the process together. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great afternoon. Thank you, Orlando. We appreciate you joining us again today. And have a great day, guys.